Assalamu alaikum. I want to talk to you about always wanting to feel loved. Like, are you someone who just wants to be loved? Is that like the thing that you really want? You're not attached to material things, you're not attached to, you know, the things that other people are attached to, but what you really want is you just want to feel loved. Now, this is such a common um struggle that women in particular find themselves in because you know we're such loving creatures and we just want to be loved. And sometimes, and whilst that is healthy and beautiful and, makes you thrive in life, sometimes, before we know it, that seeking to be loved makes you miserable. And no matter how hard you try, no matter how much effort you put in, how much you give, whatever you do, you feel that no matter what you're doing, you can just never feel loved. I want to talk to you about this today because, it causes us a lot of suffering. And what happens is it's not that you don't have people in your life who love you, right? You have people in your life that love you, but you don't feel loved enough. Like their love is just not enough. It's just not filling the gap. There is something inside of you that feels empty. And you feel a little bit better when you're around the people you love, and especially if you put all of your love in one basket, where you might want your husband to love you, or a child to love you, or a parent to love you, and especially in your life, there's one person who you really try hard to please, to give, to make things easy, so that they can just love you. Because when they love you, it makes you feel on top of the world. It makes you feel complete. It makes you feel like you have everything. Now, if there's someone in your life that makes you feel like that, but you only ever feel like that in their company once in a while, but the rest of the time you're miserable trying to get them to love you, then you're actually, you really need to hear today's message, because it's a problem that comes up so much. And it's not something that we talk about. It's not, we wouldn't tell our friends about it. Um, but we will suffer thinking they don't love me enough, they don't appreciate me, they don't see what I do. And what's happening? I want to talk to you about what's happening, when we get into that state. You see, there is love and there is attachment. Love is when we're able to love and show love, and it's non-transactional. We're just giving because we're good inside. I have what I need and I can just give. I know I have so much love to give. That's when you are filled with love. But most of us aren't filled with love. Most of us are actually running on empty. And so when we're giving, we're wanting to be filled up with love in return, and it's transactional. When that love is transactional, it means that I'm giving, but I want something in return. But what you want in return is normally, if you stop to think about it, beyond human capacity. It's beyond anyone's capacity to always put you forward first, always prioritize you, always give you the best of themselves, always shower you love and affection. Because deep down, we want that feeling to be there all the time. That amazing feeling we feel when we feel loved, we want that to last all the time. So, what we're doing is we're giving a lot, we're giving so much in the hope of feeling that. Now, I want you to understand what it's like for the person on the other end. You know, everyone loves receiving. And if you're dealing with someone who is also, you know, coming from a place where they're not filled with love, they love it when you love them. They absolutely love it when you make them feel loved, and they enjoy it. They take your love, but then they're on the receiving end, and they're not thinking that they have to give you. You seem to be someone who has so much love to give. They're just happy receiving. Equally, when you do start asking for it, or you do feel upset, or you do want more, and you might be thinking, well, where are you going? Why are you not going to be home? Why are you? When you start to get like that, then that actually causes a repellent between you, because you know, you're pulling too tight, you're holding on too tight, and that feeling. So they might love feeling loved, But then when you're not feeling like, when you're trying to hold on, it causes a bit of a repellent, and they pull away, and you can feel them pulling away, and that is heartbreaking. If you've been there, you know that is heartbreaking. You give and give and give, and then when you say what you need, they pull away. And then they will say things to you like, "Well, I can't be who you want me to be. I can't give you what you want." And you're wondering why. I give you everything. Why can't you give me what I want? And the reason why is because what you're looking for is beyond, like I said, human capacity. What you're looking for is the sort of love that we get only from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like nowhere else, no human being can love you the way Allah loves you. But the thing is, when we're in this state where we've put all of our happiness on one person, we've decided you're the one that completes me. When I'm with you and you're loving me, that's when I feel complete. When we're in that space, we can't see anything else. We're going to Allah, but we don't feel loved by Allah because all our focus is on this one person. We're around our kids who love us, but we're not feeling their love because all of our focus is on this one person. We're with our parents, and our family members, and we know they love us, but it doesn't make you feel loved like you do from this one person. And your entire focus becomes on this one person. To the point where you might end up putting up with things that you shouldn't be putting up with, and your family is saying, "Why are you putting up with this?" Because you're so desperate to be loved by them, because only they can give you that feeling. But I tell you what, it's an illusion, because the feeling you want is an intense love. No human being can love someone intensely all the time. We have different priorities. We have different, you know, m- days where we feel differently, days where we feel low about ourselves. So we can't always be in a state of giving. Also, no human being can put you first all the time and make you feel special. Every human being has different priorities. Every human being, has to balance those priorities. So feeling like you're put first all the time isn't also realistic, and we really set ourselves up for a downfall when we look for that. The other thing is that we're looking for someone to be always thinking about us, always, um, trying to do things to make to make our lives better, to think about us, to do things for us. And because every human being gets caught up in their own needs and their own emotions and their own life, that's not possible either. But when you discover the characteristics of Allah's beautiful name, Al Wadud, what you realize is actually that intense love that I'm looking for, only Allah can give me. Only Allah loves me that intensely. That always thinking about me, always doing what's good for me, only Allah is that for you. Only Allah can put you, can put always be there and love you in that way. And that love which never stops, that love that's always there, that love that you can count on, that feeling complete can only ever come when you seek to be loved by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because He's Al Wadud. And you recognize that what you're looking for, as long as you look for it in human beings, you're going to be disappointed, you're going to be heartbroken. And you could never give enough in order to feel that intensity all the time. And when we realize that, what happens is you become complete. You become filled with love because Allah's always loving you. You're always filled. You feel loved all the time as long as you are connected to Allah. And because you're filled with love, you're able to give love. But not because now it's transaction and you need to get something back, but because you're just giving for the sake of Allah. You're just giving love. You're giving your time. You're giving your heart. You're giving, whatever you want to give, but you give it for the sake of Allah. And Allah fills you with more and more and more love. And when you're grateful for what you have, even when you're grateful for the love of Allah in your life, then Allah increases that. And when you're grateful for the love of your family, because you can see there, suddenly your eyes are open, you can see everyone's love, you know, though you no longer need it to be okay. Now you don't need it to be okay. You don't need it to be complete because you get that from Allah. What you find is you become really grateful for their love. You can appreciate it. You can see your blessings everywhere. You'll suddenly notice the birds chirping on the trees. You'll see, colors of flowers and butterflies around you. You'll see life. because you're not so fixated on needing one person to love you so that you can feel complete, you can feel good in yourself, you can feel okay. Because we are only ever okay once when we turn to Allah. We're only ever going to be okay when we turn to Allah. When we turn to human beings, even if you get a fleeting moment of that happiness you're looking for, it's filled with suffering and struggle and misery. So, my sister, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, this is me, this is my struggle, this is my pain, then I want to say to you, put all of your focus on learning about Allah's characteristics of Al Wadud and realizing and recognizing that what you're looking for, you've always had. It's always been there. You are loved like that. You are loved like that. You are special to your Lord who created you. You have what you need. You are complete. Free yourself from the shackles of needing people because no human being can give another one what Allah can give us. And when you do that, you'll be free to just go about and be your best self, give for the sake of Allah, be filled with love in your heart, and be able to just give everyone, what you can give them as a human being can give. All right. I really hope that this has been a huge opener for you. It is for everyone who learns it. For many, many sisters that have taken this journey with me, they've realized that it was the learning about the name of Al Wadud, learning about Allah's beautiful name, and really what that meant. It meant they were loved. It meant that someone does love them the way they want to, and that love is always there. When you learn that, it changes everything. It changes everything because imagine living your life complete, never fearing that you're going to lose that love. What sort of mother do you become? What sort of wife do you become? Free of need, giving for the sake of Allah, happy and content in your heart, and grateful. Now, if you're listening to this and you want some help, then, get in touch. Get in touch, inshallah, and want to help you make the transition because that's what we need. That's what we need to be talking about. Why are we suffering the way we are? Why are we pleasing the way we are? Why are we trying so hard the way we are? And it's because we're looking for that love to make us feel special. So when we address that issue, we actually solve the problem as opposed to trying to make people do what they should be doing or appreciate us in the way they do. And yes, appreciation is important and everyone should take care of their responsibility. But to make you feel loved, that's only ever going to come from Allah. Okay, my sister. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.